Dyer's Daily.
So this is more of a personal episode, I guess. One which I hope people can relate to. So I've been producing content for nearly 15 years, and I very rarely am on the other side of the table. As in, I've interviewed possibly hundreds of guests, but I very rarely have been interviewed myself. And in the last year or so, I have tried to make steps to change that. And in doing so, I open up a lot of things that I've struggled with in the past, and even unearth some new things as well that I didn't know about. So, just to take the last couple of times I've been interviewed in a podcast, one of them was actually for my own podcast. Now, I did enjoy it, and one of the reasons for doing it in the first place was because I thought, well, there is this podcast that I do that I really enjoy, and if someone was doing it themselves and I wasn't involved, I would want to be interviewed on it. So I thought, why don't I turn the tables? The problem is like the unpredictability, and without going into too much detail, I am very hard on myself when I'm not in control of that. So I feel like sometimes I can run away with things, and I've been told in the past that this is to do with the autistic spectrum disorder that I have. And after that interview on my own podcast, I've presented hundreds of these episodes. I'm interviewed for one of them, and I had such a sense of self-loathing, even just a tiny sense of self-loathing at the end. And I did a second one just before recording this, and it's not quite as bad, but I still have that sense there of like, oh, did I do okay? Was I any good? Are they going to use it? Are they going to cut anything out? You know, I'm just kind of concerned with it. And luckily, after that first time, I kind of got the worst of it over with, I guess. It just decreased over time. I don't want to trivialize anything. You know, if anybody's feeling something a lot worse than me, obviously. But I felt bad for a couple of days, I think. And I'm just going to have to work on that. And I think the more interviews I do on the other side, the better.
Dyer's Daily.